Hey guys, and welcome to my fall edgy makeup tutorial. This is what we're going to be working towards, so if you want to learn how to do this look, just keep watching. So I'm just starting by applying my Revlon Colourstay liquid foundation all over my face using my Real Techniques Expert face brush, same as I do every day. And I'm just making sure that I've buffed that in and blended it to the best of my abilities, brought it down my neck so that I don't have a foundation line around my chin, and blended it all the way up into my hairline as well. Next I'm using my Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in the shade Fair One, and I just apply this in a crescent moon shape under both of my eyes where I get dark circles, around my nose and on my chin. This is where I need a little extra concealing, but just apply it on any blemishes that you have going on or redness that you want to tone down. And I'm using my fingers to blend this out instead of using a brush because I feel like the warmth from my fingers really helps to blend this in with a foundation and make sure that everything looks seamless. Then I'm just going to set everything with my Collections pressed powder and a big fluffy brush. This isn't the best powder ever, but it was the one I had to hand on the day. I'm always careful with powder not to over apply it, and most people don't actually need as much powder as they think. I just apply mine on top of that concealer to make sure it's super set and use whatever's left on my big fluffy brush just to buff the rest of it in. To contour, I'm using this smaller angled face brush and my trusted Ben Nye pressed colour palette. The shade I'm using is Toffee, and I start by just pulling the colour in one straight line underneath the cheekbone and then blend upwards. Also try and make sure that you don't pull the colour any further forward towards your mouth than about the centre of your eye. Then once the colour's on there, I'm just going to blend it up into my temples and hairline to give this look a bit more of a bronze look because we're using very red colours. I wanted to make sure that I didn't look too washed out. To further bronze my face, I just use whatever's left on the brush and brush it across my nose and forehead and chin. It just gives you a really natural summery glow. Then once I've done all of that, I just go back in with my big fluffy brush that I set all of my face with. This just helps to blend everything out and make sure that everything looks as natural as it possibly can do. For the eyes, I'm going to start by lining my waterline and tightline with MAC's Fluidline in the shade Rich Ground, which is this beautiful bronzy brown colour, and I'm using a small lip brush to do this. Then I'm working it right into the roots of my lashes to make sure that the colour looks super rich and intense. And don't worry about being messy here. Then, using that same fluid line, I'm applying it in a thick slant shape on my lid. Be sure to not take it too far forward into the inner corner because you want to keep this area nice and bright. It should almost look like very scruffy eyeliner. I'm then using my fingers to blend this out before it sets. This will be the base for our eyeshadow. You do want to try and roughly blend this into the shape you're going to apply your eyeshadow in. And again, not pulling it too far into the inner corners. So yeah, just keep blending that with your fingers until you're happy with the shape and that the edges are super soft and blended. Then do the same under the eyes, applying that colour with your small brush and just blending it out with your fingers. You want to pull the colour about 2/3 of the way across your lower lash line. And make sure when you're blending it that it's all connected at the outer corner as well and there are no gaps anywhere. Before we move on to anything else on the eyes, I'm using a matte flesh tone, this is MAC's Orb, to really soften the edges of the base. Just apply that colour on your brow bone using a big flat shader brush and blend it down. Now we get to the fun part. I'm taking this beautiful deep red jewel tone, this is MAC's Cranberry and one of my all-time favourite eyeshadows, and applying that with a big fluffy blending brush all over that base that we've just applied. The base should really help the colour pop. Don't worry too much about the edges here because we're going to blend everything out properly once all of the colour is done on the eyes. Next I'm going back to my Ben Nye palette and taking the colour Brickstone on a smaller flat shader brush. It's a lovely warm tone brown. And then applying that colour in a V shape just in the outer corners of the eye. I'm then going in with a small amount of the colour Twilight Sable from the same palette and applying that in a slant just in the outer corner of the lid. I'm then going back in with the same blending brush I used to apply Cranberry and blending all of that in. The leftover red on the brush should really help to pull all of these colours together. And remember, the trick with blending is to always do more than you think you need to. I then swept that same fluffy brush just under the eyes as well to add a nice hazy smoky mix of all three colours. Going back in with the colour Orb, I then applied this straight onto the brow bone with my finger to help to pull that colour down. I know this seems unorthodox, but I use my fingers here because I find it really helps with the colour payoff you need to bring that red back down. I'm then going in with a clean MAC 217 blending brush and a tiny bit of Orb, just to clean up my edges and blend everything together and completely finish that eyeshadow. Finally, to finish the eyes, I applied a generous coat of Benefit's They're Real mascara. I mostly concentrate this on my top lashes, but do put a little bit on the bottom lashes as well, just to finish everything off. For the brows, I kept everything really simple and really natural to make sure that nothing was too heavy because we've already got these big old eyes going on. So I just applied a small amount of this slightly darker than I'd usually use eyebrow pencil, just to make sure that my brows had a little bit of shape and were neatened up. For the lips, I decided to go quite bold with this lovely deep pinky red from number 7. Funnily enough, it's also called Cranberry. I sense a slight theme here. I just applied this straight from the bullet, but you can use a lip brush if you'd like to be more precise. I then mattified and deepened it slightly by patting on a small amount of the colour Grapevine, also from that same Ben Nye palette. I just really decided that that would be the perfect addition to this slightly dramatic makeup. For the blush, I decided to use that self-same colour from the Ben Nye palette just to tie everything together. I just applied this by using my Real Techniques blusher brush and then went over the top of it with a little more of my face powder on my big fluffy brush just to tone that colour down and blend everything in. Finally, I went back in with my contour colour because I decided that I needed a little more warmth to stop me looking like Vampira, and that's it. That is my fall edgy makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I really loved filming it, and I would absolutely love it if you guys tag me in any Instagram posts or Twitter or anything like that if you do try this out. Let me know in the comments below if you are daring enough to wear this as an everyday kind of makeup, or if you think you'd only do one of the two, maybe pair the eyes with a nude lip or the lip with a simple eyeliner. I don't know, I'm just intrigued. Is anybody else as wild as me when it comes to dramatic makeup? Especially for the everyday. All of the products used are in the down bar below, along with all of my links. Any music used, anything like that. If you guys have any other questions, throw it in the comments down below. I will be sure to answer them all. And I will see you guys soon. That's it, guys. I'll see you next time. Mwah! Guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you might have guessed from the title below, we are doing a MAC haul today. I'm very excited because this is my first ever MAC haul on the interwebs.